We fucking made it. The finish, well, the the start of the finish line, the finish of the start line, if you will. We have arrived. The NBA play-in tournament. The regular season is over. God bless America and all other countries. We're done. We did it.
We made it.
Um, we are finally to the play-in tournament. We're gonna have a separate episode previewing playoff stuff. This episode is gonna be entirely focused on the play-in matchups. So we're not gonna get into if we say a team's going to the 8th seed. We're not gonna get into who they're playing at 1, etc., etc. We are focused on the marquee matchups that are happening this week. Some fun stuff to look forward to. Bulls Hawks in the play-in for the 9th time in a row. Sixers Heat, Pelicans Lakers, that's dope. Warriors Kings again. Let's just jump right into it, man. Where do you guys want to start, really?
Personally, I'd like to start with what I think is like the least interesting of all these, which is another rerun of Bulls Hawks. Man, these two teams just really are not fun to watch, and Trae Young has kind of become like the gatekeeper of the playoffs at this point.
It's just a complete mid-off, bro.
Yeah.
Can I even say mid? I mean, the Hawks won 36 games. Like, is that mid anymore? Like, that's
I think
just
they're
really,
just bad now. Yeah.
That's just like very bad.
Yeah. Same with the Bulls too. Like, still injured the whole year, and it's just, DeMar throwing up his middies, and their guys defending, and that's their whole team.
I mean, credit to DeMar. He actually had like a really, really good, impactful season. Unfortunately, he plays for the Chicago Bulls, so it doesn't really matter like that. I guess Zach LaVine is like still on this team.
Could have just fooled everybody. He hasn't played in like 4 months.
And when he did, it was kind of like, okay, do we really look better? I'm generally not a fan of the when a player misses time, the are they better without him arguments, but it's just like they're just like so much like laughably better when he's not on the floor. It's really jarring.
The thing is, too, even in seasons where he did play like the full time, like pretty much every year, and this is like a thing with like Levine and DeRozan, is that like past few years, you take them off the court and the strength of the Bulls doesn't really change. It's never changed. And so it's like it's kind of just like a purgatory team. Like no matter what collection of players is thrown out there, they just play like roughly 500 ball. And I guess that's cool if you're aiming for 500, but you're not really. No one ever is.
Especially not that team. Like with the offseason they had like 2 or 3 years ago, like they were definitely.
At least we gave Nikola Vucevic 60 million fucking bones this year. Thank Christ we locked up by volume a guy who probably just had like a bottom 5 catch and shoot season in NBA history. Thank Christ.
I think he was like bottom 10 or 15 true shooting in the entire NBA as a center, which is kind of unbelievable.
That's actually that's bordering on impressive, really.
Right?
He finished the season shooting about 30. I want to say it was somewhere between 29, 30, like 32% on wide open catch and shoot threes.
Yeah, actually, I looked this up the other day.
Disgusting things.
I looked this up the other day, man. So, there were 133 players in the NBA who took at least 3 catch and shoot threes a game, and Nikola Vucevic was 132nd in percentage. Second, last was the tall one in San Antonio, but he plays defense, so we'll give him a little bit of pass there.
Yeah. Also, he's not much of a catch and shoot guy, really. Like.
Yeah, I'm saying that guy shot 46% on step backs this year. So.
Yeah. Is what it is. The thing is, even though the Bulls are just like eye gouging to watch, I think if I were to give odds on this game, I would give like 65-35 Chicago. Part of it is the home court thing, and then also just I don't know, dude. The Hawks are like Jalen Johnson is gone, Kongwu is gone, Bay is gone. Capella might as well be gone. He's like terrible almost every other game now, and you can't really like he like lob finishes still sometimes, but like around the rim, he's just like so ineffectual these days on both sides.
Yeah,
And I don't know.
Trey's
I
like
don't know.
just coming off a minutes restriction right now. Like he was out for like a month, more than a month. Like it's
Yeah, and DeJounte had tweaked some stuff too. Like he's not been
not
fully
looking
healthy.
good.
I don't know, dude. I think it's gonna be the Kobe White show, honestly, which is crazy how we've gotten here.
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean he's
Like,
been
it's-
fantastic.
That's all I've wanted.
it's weird to say. I think you could like, on some level. Well, first of all, I think he has a very good argument for most improved, but like, there are a lot of nights where he just looks like Chicago's best player and like the dude who makes things happen the most, for himself and others. And the thing, Atlanta obviously has players who make more things happen, but they also can't guard anyone, so that's a bit of an issue. Like Alex Caruso is perhaps the single best perimeter defender on a rate basis in the NBA right now for a guy like Trae Young to like go against, because he's tall but he's still really fast and he's strong and he like flat Stanleys around screens and shit, and you can't just like screen spam Alex Caruso because he's really not going to let you do that.
Which is
and the Bulls as a whole
the
don't really let
Hawks'
you do that.
entire MO is just screen spamming for their guys.
Screen, rescreen, Gortat screen.
Yeah, it's like I think this is just a tough matchup for Atlanta, especially considering they're missing. I think you could argue Jalen Johnson has been their second best player. He's at minimum been their third best player. He's been excellent this year, and he's just not going to play, right? I don't know, man. I'm hard leaning Chicago. Not that hard, but like I'm definitely leaning Chicago.
The only thing that really gives me pause is just how amazing Trae Young is. I have so many I'm just so disappointed schematically in what the Hawks have done this year. I talked about it a lot at the beginning of the season where I had them a lot higher than this, but most of it was not because of my expectations for them. It was more just teams around them and stuff like that, and they still managed to underperform all of that.
Yeah, teams around them still weren't good.
Yeah.
No, right? I don't know. When I think about it conceptually, the way that Atlanta kind of guards, especially the way they have to guard against DeMar DeRozan. And mind you, DeMar DeRozan played 37 minutes a game this year and led the NBA. So there's a good chance he just plays 40 minutes of this game and is good for all of it, and the defense never gets a break. It's just when you're playing against a guy like DeMar, can you nail the switches? The Hawks don't really do that. Are you good in single coverage, or is the big that you're funneling to gonna deter much of what DeMar's gonna do? I don't really think so. And obviously there's more, schematically you can kind of run down the line in terms of how you can cover stuff, but at its simplest core, guarding a guy like that, you have screen navigation, keeping the ball in front in isolation and getting a good contest, and switching, and the Hawks just don't do any of that well at all. It's gonna be, it might be some of the most disgusting hoops, but I'm excited to watch the NBA's most improved player, Kobe White, do his damn thing on the world stage. I'm really I think the right word is disturbed that we have to watch this again.
Yeah, I don't like it, man. I feel like I was saying this to Bashiri the other day. I kind of feel this way, even though the level of hoops is obviously different. I feel like I've seen this matchup enough times that it's akin to Mavs Clippers to me, where it's I've already emotionally given all I can give towards these two teams playing each other.
It's
Mavs
Clippers, they're just worse players at every position.
Yeah, whatever is will be, and that's fine with me. I'm not gonna get emotionally invested watching that. That's just, they will play each other as they do. A team will win as is needed, and then they will move on to the next round and lose, and it'll be great.
They're gonna lose, and then they're gonna get the 8th seed and
Yeah,
lose.
like I hate to be really reductive about all this, but it's like whoever wins this, I don't see them beating the Heat or the Sixers.
Yeah, exactly. Like best
I
case
also don't see them
scenario,
beating the
like
Heat.
yeah, best case scenario,
Good.
they could beat. Well, yeah, the Chicago could beat the Heat, I think, but whatever happens, like
But at what cost? That sounds like
lose.
one of the worst games I've ever seen.
yeah, honestly,
That might be a worse game than this one.
89 to 85.
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's. Well, what do you guys? I said 65-35 Chicago. Where are you guys going?
I've got probably like I'd say a 55-45 lean to Chicago here, just because Trey has never played the Bulls well, or he's never played Caruso well specifically. They've never really like figured out that matchup, and he's really like their main chance of winning this game. I mean, DeJounte's had big games this season, but I don't know. I don't really see the totality of the Hawks' scoring overcoming Chicago, really.
I'm pretty like 50-50. I don't know. If I sat deeper and thought about it, I could probably come to more of a consensus. It's kind of like you said that like I'm not emotionally invested enough in what's happening here to be like, yeah, no, I very firmly believe that X team is gonna win. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's firm at all.
I mean, that's kind of
I-
been the thing with these two teams is that like nothing with them has been certain for the last like 2 or 3 years. They're just like,
Besides
everything's
Alex
always-
Caruso,
I think it's
baby.
been pretty certain that they'll both be ass.
Yeah.
No, because that's not true either. They'll both be mid. It's even worse than being ass. Because if they were ass, there would be like, I don't know. I guess they both have exciting young players anyway, but it's kind of in spite of the franchise, not really because of any good direction that's going
That's
on.
the thing. There's like some certainty in like tuning into a like Hornets game or something. Like you know they're gonna lose, but with the Hawks and Bulls, like they just like it's completely random. They're coin flipping every game almost.
Kobe Buffkin doesn't fucking play. Quinn Snyder griefed AJ Griffin's development. On the Bulls side, Kobe White is like the only promise there, and he was picked by the last regime. Let me give some credit. Actually, I would assume.
I was gonna say they got Io, who's been playing.
Yeah,
well
he had
That was
a
pretty
really
nice.
solid. I up until this season, I really didn't. I know you were always a big IO guy, Connor. I was never really in on him, but hey, credit to him. Like the past 2-3 months, he has been like legitimately super improved. He looks a lot more comfortable with the ball, creating his own shot, and happy for him.
Yeah, he's a really good kid. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, how old am I? Oh,
Ah,
I said good
over.
kid. Oh, fucking hell, it's over.
all right.
Moving on.
In the comments, you can write Connor's obituary now because it's not going to be much longer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll read it when I get done at the factory.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the more
yeah.
exciting game here. Sixers Heat.
See, I don't think this is exciting though. Honestly,
Really?
like, no.
I'm here for the drama.
The drama is cool, but I could just I don't know. There are channels on TV for that. I don't want to be like insane about this, but I think this is the most lopsided matchup by like kind of a while. Like I would go like 75-25 Philly, maybe 80-20. Like it's the Sixers when Joel Embiid was healthy were arguably the second best team in the NBA. They were certainly the second best team in the East, which is unfortunate because I really wish it was us, but it's not. The Sixers when Embiid was healthy were like a +7. Not just when he was on the court, like in general, like when he was not dead. The Heat are both uniquely unequipped to really stop Joel Embiid because I mean, as good as Bam is, he's just a lot smaller than Embiid, and then on top of that, their perimeter defense, it feels kind of like a redux of the Raptors matchup from a few years ago, where they both don't have anyone who's like truly big enough for like this version of Embiid because he has obviously been on one this year, and then they also don't have anyone anywhere near fast enough to keep up with Maxey because he's a real guy now. Like And like I understand, like it's Eric Spoelstra, he's gonna come up with something, but I think the Heat are just like really like severely talent outclassed here, and I don't know, man. I don't see the Magic this year. Jimmy Butler's been, it's not been his year. Terry Rozier is not fully healthy, and even when he has played, it's been kind of weird for him. Tyler Hero, same thing with that. Like, I don't know, dude.
I
Bam is
really,
cool, but and their defense is good, but I don't know. I think there's just a strong talent mismatch
Their defense
here
has been
that
very. I'll say their defense has been very good this year.
yeah, no, they're a top five defense, but
As you
I
said,
guess
they are outclassed talent wise for sure. Given Embiid playing, which we don't know is the case, he's still listed questionable. I mean, he obviously should play, but
he's gonna play.
speaking more about the Terry Rozier thing, I really never understood like what the point was. Um, like, and that sounds reductive, but let me
What is
elaborate
the
more.
point of Terry Rozier?
Okay, I'm sure he's a wonderful person. I mean it like that. He was having such a phenomenal season in Charlotte, and I think he's really like that. The problem is that they took this guy who was playing on this team, and I'm not saying he's like an empty stats merchant or something like that, like nothing like that. It's more just like a role thing where you took this guy who, yes, he was having a fucking crazy offensive season before they traded for him in Charlotte, and you have to understand. I mean, I'm sure they understand, but just for the audience, like for him to be on a team like Charlotte where there's no expectations for him to guard. There's no expectations for him to really be a facilitator outside of I'm cut off, let me make the next pass, like type shit. Like, where he can really be truly comfortable and just do whatever he wants to do and like be more free flowing in an offense. To take that player and ask him now to defend the point of attack and okay, you're fighting over screens and rescreens now. And we need you to operate at the top of a zone well. Like, I never understand. Like, I understand, like, on paper, like hypothetically, like, we're the Heat. We need more scoring. We need more shot creation. Like, we've kind of had this defense thing down for a while. Like, the concept of, like, a Terry Rozier there. But just, like, slotting him into this role that he's in now, I mean, his efficiency almost immediately plummeted, even without all the injuries and stuff. Like, he's shooting in 31 games with the Heat. He's shooting 42% from the field, 37% from three, compared to what was he like, 45, 46% from the field, like 40+% from three beforehand. Like,
I think he's shooting better from three in Miami.
okay, it's just like,
But yeah, his finishing especially has been
the drives are bad.
a lot worse.
The drives are really bad. The pull-up middies are really bad. So I don't know. I don't know how much, faith I have. Like, are we really? Is Terry Rozier getting the maxi assignment? Like, is that what's happening? And we're also going to ask him to like run a competent offense at the top of the key on the other end. Like, is that?
I wonder if it's Jimmy. Like, I don't know who else you'd trust.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
at the
as far
point
as
of attack like
maxi
that.
assignment, I mean, they probably have some sort of scheme for it, but I would assume the primary defender is going to be Jimmy.
Does he want to expend, or I guess not does he, but do they want him to have to expend that much energy, knowing that like how their offense is, or rather how their
Is
offense
not.
is not.
Yeah.
Do we want to ask him to expend that much energy? It's not just because he's on a guard; it's because he's on Maxey, who's just like has like Steph Curry, Duncan Robinson, type like off ball movement, just like perma on a treadmill, never stops moving. Navigating. You're navigating multiple screens, curls and such. Like, are we asking him to take on that matchup?
I
And
mean,
expend that much energy and still like give us what we need.
if
On
I'm
the other
honest,
end?
like I doubt that Miami's game plan heading into this one revolves around Maxi like too much. I think if anything, they're gonna try and put him in a position to beat the one that beats them. Really.
He'll do it.
Yeah, I mean he's
He'll
certainly
fucking
capable,
do it.
but that's kind of the choice you have to make with the Sixers team. Like when Embiid's on the floor, like he commands all the attention of the defense, and you just kind of have to force Maxi and Tobias to have big games if you want to try and stop that guy somehow.
Going back to the switching thing from Bulls and Hawks, against a really lackluster Miami offense like this, again, I want people to pay attention to the switching from Philly, because this is a team with like multiple pretty switchable wings, namely like Tobias, Nick Batum. I'd say Kelly Oubre moderately fits into that. I just want people to pay attention to the way that they're able to guard, the way that they're able to load up on Jimmy, on Bam.
Yeah. It's tough too because the Heat offense is so one note. Like their only real method of making good offense besides Jimmy go do it is like some sort of form of like screen, downhill, drive, kick, swing, swing, swing. Like
yeah, they run Hero and Rozier off like little DHOs and stuff.
Yeah, and like Embiid is just like the way he's been playing this season, at least. I mean, I guess it'll remain to be seen if he's this, but if he is, like, I mean, he looked like a top 3 defender in the NBA in the regular season, and he just jams all of that so much. Like the Heat are really, they rely so much, more than most teams, on getting into the paint. Not because they're so good at it, but because it's kind of their only real avenue, almost. And he is one of the best like rim deterrers in the league. So like, there's going to be a really significant amount of like Tyler Hero or Rozier or even Butler getting downhill, and they just see that fucking mountain there, and they're like, oh shit, like, and
Yeah.
they have to reconsider or like turn around or reset. Yeah, I don't know. I think Miami is like, I think their talent outclassed. I think it's a poor matchup as well. I'm gonna go like 75-25 Sixers. And assuming Embiid plays and he's like Joel Embiid, if he doesn't play, then God help us, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Eric Spoelstra is a known superstar terrorist. Really anything could happen. Also in reference to the Miami offense, respect the Duncan Robinson drives.
Hey, I was on that before you. I know I was. I've been talking about Duncan Robinson's drive for like 2 years.
He legitimately might. I don't think he's gonna make like my top 3. He legitimately probably should get some sort of like MIP love this year in terms of the skills that he's developed. And I mean, he basically shot himself into and then back out of a contract. And then came back this year and is just like putting the ball on the floor to like a really high level now. Like I've actually been really impressed with what I've seen from him this year.
He had some sort of like comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
it would be him most likely, because he was like totally out in Miami last season.
Yeah. The thing with Duncan is that when you go back to like his old seasons, like 2021, 22, there is actually like a really, and I've like looked at this before, like on the play-by-play, you'd be surprised. A lot of them don't really go towards assists because that's just an area of his game that remains pretty undeveloped. But like, as far as like his personal efficiency on his ability to finish his own drives, it's always been good. Like, and like when and like you turn on a game, and when the opportunity has presented itself, he's always been able to do that. And I think this is the first year where it's really felt like they were intentionally tapping into that, as opposed to just letting him like attack closeouts because he's Duncan Robinson. And it's paid some dividends.
I watched him drive past Drew fucking Holiday last year, brother. Believe me, the tape has been out there. Unfortunately, I've seen it.
Yeah, no, he's really like that in that aspect at least. So good for him. But I still think it's the Sixers.
Yeah, I'd probably go like 60-40, 65-35 Sixers.
I'm at the same there with 65-35. I think there's some questions about Embiid's potential play. I don't think there's really any guarantees with him ever, as has been noted. And Spoelstra is going to have some kind of plan. Whether it's a good plan or not, remains to be seen. But I can't keep counting him out all the time.
He's not exactly known for bad plans, it must be said.
Yeah. So I mean, they'll have something to throw at the Sixers, but they're at a very big deficit here as far as their potential for winning this game and making 7.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I would say maybe they want to test out the mobility of Joel post injuries. I know he's looked, pretty fluid. Most things considered, but and then he retweaked it the other night or something, or he went out for a bit right after he took that fall. Or he looked a little hobbled. Jimmy Butler, get ready to learn mid-range pull-up, buddy. That's
all he knows these days. Oh man.
Are we going to talk about how now that we're at the end of the season, he shot 40% from 3 this year?
Jimmy did?
Is that not insane? I mean, it's on like
kind of random, yeah. I mean, it's
it kind of is, but like
at
the same time, I don't really care that much because everything else about his game was just like significantly worse than it was last year. So like it kind of it's turned me off. Like I appreciate that in him. Like good for you, buddy. But like I don't know,
kind of sick. My team really unlocked a Jimmy Butler 3-ball.
Yeah.
By losing that hard.
Even for like his regular season coasting, as it were, like this has been very much a down year for him. So I'm not sure like how much stock I'm willing to put in a potential like playoff rise that
I mean, I know he was listed. I know he technically played 60 games, but like he was listed day to day or like game time decision for like most of the year. And it was always like, even if he wasn't missing huge chunks at a time, it was always like he comes back, he plays 2 games, then he misses 1, and then he's questionable for the next one and he's playing through it. I think he's just been like really, I mean, you can say there's maybe like some natural regression and such. Mm-hmm. I think he's just been really unhealthy all year though. It's been hard like to watch him try and find a rhythm, which I guess it's really good that the 3-ball did come around, even if it's at like a lower volume. It just felt like he was pretty much most of the season like just dealing with some shit or like coming back from dealing with some shit and now trying to get into a rhythm, and now you finally have a rhythm established and then you're out again and you got to start all over. It's just a bad cycle to be in.
It is. Yeah.
I don't know. He's going on his pre-playoffs media I'm him talking shit tour. So I don't know, maybe he just drops like 38 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and shoots like 60% from the field and they win.
He likes his revenge games. That's
I don't know, man. I don't see it. He's had like 3 games in the past month and a half where he's really looked like Jimmy Butler. Like it's even apart from like the stats column, like it just looks different out there. Like he's not like there's a level of intensity that you expect with a Jimmy Butler, and especially like compared to last year, it's so night and day. Where even though the Heat were like still mid for most of last year, he was
probably more mid than they were this year, to be honest.
Yeah, like he was like going like heart and soul every possession, every game, like straight up. Like he was everything to that team, and I didn't really buy the playoff rise thing too much, aside from like 2 games, because I really think he was just like that nice for like last year, especially like post New Year.
Well, I was gonna say like one thing
this year he barely feels like an all-star.
One thing that really gets discounted about last year is that like for the last like 2 months of the season, like he was incredible. Like
he was on one.
From the middle of February, I'd say, through the end of the season, he looked about as good as he looked in that Milwaukee series. Like maybe not quite the exact level of like jump shot making, but he was ridiculous.
It was a different shape, but it was still like a top 10 level player. Like I remember talking to you about it, like saying that over like those last 2-3 months of the season, he looked like a Jason Tatum level player, like a surefire top 10 kind of guy.
I gotta take this time to you do my get up and leave bit. I can't relive that series. I'll let
Oh man,
But yeah, I mean,
well, we weren't even really talking about it like that, but
yeah. Anyway.
that's a tough scene. I mean, do we even have anything else to say? Does he know we're like done? Connor.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Okay.
don't really have much else, but I guess to wrap that bit up, I think it's kind of taken for granted that for one, this season he's looked worse than he usually does, but also too, like, even taking momentum into this game and like potentially I mean, they should probably beat the winner of Atlanta, Chicago, regardless of what
I would
happens
really
here.
hope so.
But he hasn't looked that good coming into this game and coming into the playoffs, so I wouldn't really expect some like meteoric rise from him regardless.
Yeah,
All
I
right, I'm
don't think
back.
it's the one.
I
Welcome
I
back.
smoked a Newport in one drag in my room with the windows closed. Thank you, Jimmy.
Nice. All right. Next, we have, and this is in case any of you were paying attention, I have been wearing gloves. And that is because for the next matchup, the gloves are coming off. This
Oh
is
god.
this is the best matchup of the play-in by far. I think Pelicans versus the Lakers. I love this matchup. I love this a lot. I think it's a pretty big toss. I think it's two very different teams clash each other, and I actually don't really know. I think this is the one I had the hardest time deciding who I thought was favored, because let's get out of the way. The Pelicans are a better team. That much is true. I know they're better. Um, but the thing is, I have I don't think this is the greatest matchup for them, because the Lakers are the premier, like, get into the paint and like push you out of the way, put the ball in the basket team in the entire NBA. And the Pelicans are the premier Jonas Valanciunas starting at center team in the NBA.
The only one,
And
actually.
premier. And the problem with that is that he's not a good rim protector. And the Lakers, their two best players, live and die by the 0 to 3 feet column on Basketball Reference. And I can really see JV getting abused and it having to be like a Larry Nance kind of game, or like, I don't know. It's the Pelicans are like a way better team. I think they had like the sixth best net rating in the entire league. Like they were legit quite good all year. Top 10 offense, top hit defense. Zion is Zion, Ingram is Ingram. CJ had a really nice resurgence. Herb Jones is like a 40% shooter from three now. Trey Murphy is coming along. They're very talented and objectively a better team than the Lakers in like every way you can think of. But the one thing that always comes up when you think about the Pelicans, you talk about the Pelicans, is that no matter how good their defense is, a lot of it is like kind of predicated on their ability to force like bad shooters to shoot, which the Lakers do have. But I feel like you have a much harder time forcing those kickouts when it's LeBron James, Anthony Davis coming at JV. Like most, against a lot of teams in the NBA, JV is big enough and there enough that he can just force a kick out anyway, even though he's not really agile enough to like handle like a change of direction at the last second. I can see this being like a LeBron 40-point game. Like this is I don't think they have the tools to deal with him very well. And I don't know, man. I'm really torn on this, honestly. What do you guys think?
I'm glad you touched on the 3-point shooting bit. And I really agree that this is a bad matchup for the Pelicans, which is why I'm surprised you said that this was the most interesting one, because I actually don't think it's that interesting. I think the Lakers are, for me, like pretty well favored in this.
Really? Well, my logic is that a home game is like a 3-point net rating swing. You always gotta account for that. And then I guess just I think as like a general strength thing, I think the Pelicans are obviously the better team, and then I think the matchup, like, it does enough to even that out, but not enough for me to feel like particularly confident
Well,
in the
we've
Lakers.
talked about this the other day, and you also mentioned it here. The Pelicans defense has, for the last couple seasons, been largely predicated on like making bad shooters take shots, but
Yeah.
the Lakers this season, I mean, for previous seasons as well, but this season are notoriously not a 3-point shooting team. They're bottom 3 in attempts. They shoot a respectable percentage, but they don't like shooting from outside. Their main guys don't shoot from outside. They will go to the paint and they will go to the line, and that's their offense. And they've actually had a pretty respectable offensive year, given, recent history. They've been like middle of the pack, which is better than the bottom 10 finishes that they've had previously. I don't know. The Lakers play the Pelicans really well. They've defended Zion well, better than most teams. I mean, Zion usually gets his anyway, but he's going to be hard pressed to go off against LeBron James and Anthony Davis. LeBron especially has defended Zion better than most, like, wings and forwards in the league. I would be at least moderately surprised to see the Pelicans walking out of this one with a win. I'd give this one like 70 to 75.
Wow.
The Lakers. Yeah. I think the Pelicans are a much better team, but this is a bad matchup for them, like through and through.
Oh, it's a high number. Kenor, what are you thinking?
I have. Call me that. I certainly have some thoughts. Well, first of all, just a quick shout out to LeBron James, first player in NBA history to shoot over 70%. He shot 72% at the rim, and over 40% from three. He shot 41% from three. So, a quick shout out to him for that. The thing that intrigues me about the Pelicans is some of the optionality that they have uncovered in this regular season. We have finally from the idea that Valanciunas is an essential element to this. They've closed a lot of games with Larry Nance Jr. They've closed a lot of games small. Sometimes they'll just run out there with like Najee Marshall, Trey Murphy, and Herb Jones and thug it out. CJ has been absent from some closing lineups towards the end of the regular season. The way I look at it is that if we think Valanciunas is someone who's going to get overwhelmed by Anthony Davis, I think at least offensively, you kind of have to, or defensively, you kind of have to live with that. I think offensively they have a lot more optionality than they've had, though. Larry Nance Jr. has quietly shot 41% from three this year. It's only on one attempt a game. But particularly the last 2 months or so, he's had a couple games where, he went 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 2 for 3, etc. Things of that nature. And he's been able to hit like standing mid ranges as the five kind of drifts into the paint. He did a couple of those when we played against them. So Larry Nance, if they want to go a little bit smaller and kind of tap more into the switching button, that's something that they've kind of figured out. And also a really big reason why their offense and their defense have been surging so much this year is because they finally discovered that we can just play Zion like a point guard. We don't need to run a lot of this off ball stuff and get him into his spots immediately. We're just a much better team offensively if we start these actions with him bringing the ball up. And you have to guard him a certain way. And with Trey Murphy being able to space from 28 feet out, I like their options as far as bringing Anthony Davis away from the rim. I think they have that a little bit better than some of the other teams in their area. And like I said, they can tap kind of the smaller buttons, as far as the switching and the smaller lineups and things of that nature. The most important thing is that Valanciunas is not a guy who even if he's playing bad, we have to play him 30 minutes tonight. He just doesn't really command that, and they have things that they can flow into out of that. I would like to say a quick prayer for first team all defensive member Herbert Keyshawn Jones. You are in my thoughts tonight, brother. Good luck tomorrow. It's going to be
work cut out for him.
It's certainly. Yeah, you know what though? They got one other dude I ain't talked about. I have a boyfriend, and he plays NBA basketball. His name is Brandon Xavier Ingram.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I've loved the growth from him the last few years.
I really like BI, but I don't know how much of a factor he's going to be. Like, he doesn't play the Lakers very well, generally.
I think people have caught on a lot more to his playmaking the last few seasons. I don't think that's really obscure anymore. And so I like the way, like I said, between the Zion bringing the ball up and how far out they can space, and the secondary playmaking of CJ and BI, the way that their offense can just be so free flowing. Herb Jones shooting 40% from three this season. They just have a lot more options as far as moving the ball around and attacking different areas of the floor and different matchups than they've ever had. So I like their chances. That being said, I have learned better in my life than to bet against LeBron James in basically anything. I'm torn. I'm torn, truly. I don't know if I can give a percent. I will say they are playing in NOLA, and the Lakers were not a very good road team this year, 19-21 on the road. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I have to think a little harder about a percentage, I think. I'm pretty torn. I definitely just talked a lot more about the Pelicans than the Lakers, but I feel like you guys kind of covered a lot of the bases for the Lakers.
I'm going to say 55-45 Lakers.
I'll say this.
Give me the Pelicans. Give me the Pelicans. Give me the Pelicans. Give me the Pelicans.
I'll say this.
You got a number on it?
I don't think there's any way. I don't really see the Pelicans winning this game on the defensive side of the ball. I think if they beat the Lakers tonight, they have to outscore them like pretty significantly. Like I would be very surprised if
that is generally how you would win a basketball game.
I'd be very surprised if the Lakers don't put up 125 to 130 in their game.
I don't know, man. This is I know they don't match up the best, but I don't know. This is a top 5 defensive basketball.
Totally agree. They're a great defensive team. The Lakers light them up almost every time they play. It's a bad look. JV gets played off the floor. I mean, he literally got played off the floor last night. He
gets played off the floor most nights. It just is.
I know, but especially against the Lakers, it's a bad thing if your center gets played off the floor. Larry Nance is a good player, but he's not a particularly great rim protector.
Anthony Davis stopper.
You need to protect the rim against the Lakers, and you need to not foul. That's how you beat this team, and most teams can do that pretty effectively. The Pelicans are generally not good at doing that.
Yowza.
I think the AD and LeBron thing is pretty given. I think it's a lot of what kind of D'Angelo Russell are we gonna get? Are we gonna get the D'Lo who shoots like 4 from 3, and the pull-ups are hitting, and the floater's there, and he's getting fouled on his drives, and he's getting 2 feet in the paint, and other people involved? Are we going to get that version of Austin Reeves? Are we going to get the version of Austin Reeves who's doing a good job navigating screens at the top on CJ McCollum?
No, we're not. I'll give you that one right now. We're not.
That's what I mean. It's like, I don't know. There's holes here that. It sounds really stupid to say, well, if the role players play good, they will win, and if they lose, but I don't know. It's kind of a lot of what the Lakers season has been.
No, I get it.
This has been the most available season of Anthony Davis's career, and this has been one of the most efficient seasons of LeBron James' career, even if it's not the most dominant.
Somehow
we got the exact version of those two players that we wanted, and we're 500. Well, a little over.
They
Let me give them credit.
were pretty.
We're
They're
a little
a
over.
number of games over 500, but I
You get this. You get the sentiment. You get the sentiment. We got exactly what we wanted and needed this season.
And
I'm sorry. There's just a fucking like Mariana's Trench-sized coaching gap between these two rosters. Like let's just keep it a buck. Willie Green absolutely clears, and I love Darvin Ham, the person from his time as an assistant in Milwaukee. Like that's my guy. Holy shit, Willie Green so clears that hands in his pockets merchant. Like it's not even close. It's not. I can go all day about.
But the real question is, Willie Green may clear Darvin Ham, but does he clear LeBron James?
That's valid. It's
a lot
honestly.
to consider.
I mean,
It's a lot to consider.
I mean, Willie Green and Darvin Ham cannot play the game for their players. So
Yeah.
I think Darvin Ham could literally not show up to the arena and the Lakers would win this game. In fact, they probably would have a better chance of winning this game.
One of my favorite NBA Twitter memes I have ever seen in my life. It was one of those graphics where like it just has like people's faces on it. With, like,
I know this one. Yeah.
It's like. He's like LeBron is like 40 or some shit like that. It says like 49 11 50 60% from the field, 45% from three, and he's like I need some help, can we start running plays? And it's just a picture of Darvin Ham's face, and he says, guys, I'm trying to watch the game here. Like,
Oh man.
I mean, it's really I feel sometimes like. And you know, credit where it's due. He's coached a very good defense, but I don't know how much of that is like really on his shoulders in particular.
A lot of the Darvin Ham thing, it's like I think his main impact has been as like a culture / like team identity guy, because you can attest to this. He was the assistant in Milwaukee. One of their main tenets to their identity was being the foul differential team as well. Like one of his like main defensive stressors was don't foul and then get into the paint and draw fouls on offense. And that's exactly what the Lakers have done. The second he hopped teams, the number one foul differential team in the NBA, or free throw differential rather, but you know, same shit. Went from Milwaukee to LA with him, and it stayed there with him. And I think in formulating that part of their identity, I think it works for them. I think it fits them. I think it's also really funny because it makes a lot of people mad and say that the league is rigged. But
if I say what I think, I will be suspended in 6 months.
But I don't know. Yeah, ever like this year, I have not really been fond. I mean, I was never fond of the direction of the Lakers, not like how you were anyway. And it just seems to be. I don't know. I favor them to win this game, but I think almost like Bashiri said, I think almost none of it has to do with Darvin Ham at all. I think he'll be there. You know, he'll get some claps, some good work, boys.
I would hope he would be there.
But it's definitely not on his plate.
Well, it sucks because last year with like all the Russell Westbrook shit, I said at the end of the year, I was like, I literally could not tell you if Darvin Ham is a good head coach right now. I wanted to believe it because of how much better they were after the trade deadline, but that was a lot of that you could probably attribute to addition by subtraction. At the end of last year, I really could not tell you if he was a good coach or not, and that's just because like all the other, you know, outside of basketball shit that was going on there. I didn't have enough to form an opinion about it. And now that I've seen him, I think I've just come to the determination that he really might just be one of the best assistants and player coaches in the league, and is just not like that, like from a tactile perspective, or tactical rather perspective. I hated when he took this job. I hated it because I knew what it was going to come with. The expectations and the public eye and the scrutiny. I hated that for him for his first gig, for real. I hated that for his first gig, and now we're a full season through, and it's like, man.
Lakers, yeah, it's tough. I feel bad for him. I think we talked enough about this matchup though.
Got one more.
55-45 Pels. I never gave you one. 55-45
Interesting.
Pels.
Yeah, so I have 55-45 Lakers, you have 55-45 Pels, and Bashiri has, I think, Bashiri has, I think, 130-0 Lakers. So that's good. And the last one, the rematch, the battle of Northern California. I almost said Northern LA, which is really tough. Warriors, Kings. I'm probably not going to watch this game. I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. It's not even because I think it's going to be a bad game, but I don't know, bro. I've been really tired lately. It's not a it's
Oh, you
it's
meant
been a
literally
long.
like the time.
Oh no, it has nothing to do with the time. It's been a spiritually exhausting past 2 weeks, and I don't think I have it in me to watch them do that to Domantas Sabonis again. I don't think it's nice, and I don't think it's
I
respectful.
am so sick of the dirt on Domantas Sabonis's
Oh boy.
name.
Is
Dude,
it dirt? Is it? It's just the way it was, man, and it's just
fucking
the way.
broke his dominant hand at the end of the regular season. He played through it
Listen,
the last 20 games
the
of the
thing is,
season.
The thing is, I don't think it's a hand thing, though. I can understand what you're saying, but the things that I saw last year from him that made me really, and the things that I've seen this year from him that make me like give me a lot of pause. Peter and I were talking about this like the other day. I have a lot of like genuine worries about him as like an offensive player that are not hand dependent. Like I think the the Warriors didn't like expose that he had a broken hand. They kind of exposed that his passing game and scoring game are both a lot more one dimensional than you would really like from one of the main cogs of your offense. And I think, people have really not been in on Steve Kerr lately, but I have full confidence that like the thing about Sabonis is that he gets so many assists and like over almost I think it's over or on nearly half of them are just like dribble handoff Keegan Murray, dribble handoff Malik Monk, dribble handoff De'Aaron Fox. Like not that's not even hating. I think it's like percentage wise, I think it's like 46% of his playmaking is done where he just hands the ball to someone and stands there and is big. And I think it's and the Kings do so much with it and they're so creative with it, but I don't view him as like this crazy engine that you can like light up a team like the Warriors with because I still respect the Warriors defense. I still respect the fuck out of Draymond Green on that end, and the fact that he is a effectively a non-shooter and b like it would be it would be one thing if he was like a Jokic kind of passer or even like an Alperen Şengün kind of passer where I could see him do more than like make laydowns and bounce passes and handoffs, but I don't I don't really think he's adept enough to like pick apart a team like the Warriors with his passing, and that leaves a lot on Fox's shoulders. And then on the other side of things, like all due respect to Keon Ellis, I mean, he's a very nice man from all I've heard about him. And for those who are watching, we hear a
Love that
lot
guy.
about Keon Ellis. We hear way too much about Keon Ellis.
Love that guy.
Just an unbelievable amount, and he's genuinely a very good defender. I'm rooting for him, but the Kings' defense is still not good. Like it's Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, and like some dreams out there, and the Warriors' offense is, in spite of everything, still good. They've added some dynamism this year in Pajemski, Kuminga. Finally learned how to play basketball. He looks pretty cool. Um, and Steph Curry, man. I don't know. I'm like, I think the Warriors are a better team than the Kings. I think they match up well with the Kings. And again, man, I don't think Sabonis is like some like career playoff dropper freak or anything. I don't think that's like real necessarily, but I this season, like I know he had like the double double record and everything, but I didn't view it as that great of a season. The Kings were not a supreme offensive team like they were last year, and I think a lot of that is because the league kind of caught up and like they were like, okay, well if you can find a way to like jam these handoff actions and make Sabonis like operate in a more complex way with the ball in his hands, he kind of loses a lot of that effectiveness that made them so great last year. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going like 60-40 Golden State.
Damn, I thought you were gonna go way for
Yeah,
the
what the fuck?
with
You
your
just like
odds
ripped
the way you
them.
talked
The
about.
thing is, no, because for everything I said, the Kings are playing at home, aren't they? And
Yeah,
and I hate I hate that it's because I just said so much, and I really put on my analyst hat, and the analyst hat will tell you that no matter how shit a team is, they're usually 3 points worse on the road than they are at home, and that's just the way things are. So maybe 65-35. If sure, I'll give it that. But yeah, I'm not feeling great about Sacramento's chances.
Connor, it sounds like you have a lot to say.
Yeah, I'm mulling. I'm thinking.
The Muller. Oh
the
man.
I mean, as far as Sacramento's success as a team, I mean, let's be, they won one less game than they did, or was it two less games than last year? The West was just absolutely ridiculous this season, and I would say I would agree with you that the league kind of caught up this year, which I think is true to a certain degree. I think that happens with almost any team.
Oh, I don't think they're a worse team. I think they're worse on offense. That's the main point I was making. I don't. They're much better on defense. That's why they're on the same.
I would attribute more of that to um, kind of the stuff around Sabonis and Fox more than anything. Like, let's keep it a buck. Harrison Barnes was fucking shit this year.
Yeah, Monk's hurt. Herter
I don't care.
Same.
I don't care how efficiently he shot. Harrison Barnes was weak as fuck this year. Like from a physicality standpoint, from a guarding standpoint, he's usually like a bigger wing who you can depend on to like grab more like tightly contested rebounds, and like he can kind of run the ball up the floor, and like he's like a serviceable outlet passer. Just not doing a lot of the thing, which stuff like that is important from a tempo standpoint for a team that wants to play that fast. Kevin Herter just like could not shoot the ball at all this season, and so now, and again, respect Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis is great. Love that guy.
That's our best friend.
For real. But like, we're asking a lot now of this undrafted rookie to like come in and like, okay, you're gonna take a lot of the tougher perimeter assignments, and like you're gonna be a screen navigator, and you're gonna be like taking a lot of these switches, and we need you to shoot 40% from three. And he lived up to that.
I mean, it's not even taking the tougher perimeter assignments. He's taking Steph Curry. Is what's happening. He's gonna fucking take Steph Curry, and he's gonna have to deal with that. And like
he's taking the best guards. Keegan's taking the best wings. That was another thing too, is that I think even if like statistically he shot the ball worse this year, I would say this was still a better year for Keegan Murray. Easy. I think he's been not like all defense like area.
He's a very good defender now. He's good.
He's been a premier wing defender this season, which last year you would kind of look at HB to take a lot of those assignments. And this year they were like, all right, well, Keegan, we kind of need that from you. And then also, again, because of the regression of Harrison Barnes' skills and the lack of physicality and the lack of aggression and, the drives going down and stuff like that. A lot of that, and Kevin Herter jamming up the lanes because people realized, like, well, we actually don't need to close out to this guy as hard as we did before. A lot of, attacking closeouts and, stuff like that kind of fell to Keegan Murray's shoulders, and he did a great job with that. But my point in all of this is that Harrison Barnes and Kevin Herter, especially Kevin Herter, were two dudes who were like pretty heavily featured last year in a lot of what they were doing, and it just allowed all of their players to fulfill an ideal role. In 21-22, the Sabonis Fox pick and roll was the most efficient play in all of basketball. They trade for Kevin Herter, they add a 40% three-point shooter to that, and the offense just fucking explodes because now we can build our offense around, we can flow from this pick and roll, maybe get a late switch into giving the ball back to Domas, and then we run a DHO. Kevin Herter has a three, he's drilling it. You don't have that this year. We can flow into, Harrison Barnes is a really competent creator at his size, and he can do a lot of this tougher stuff. He's a guy who can come off DHOs, he can make the second pass. That's not happening anymore. It's just like, I put it less on Sabonis, and even if his playmaking is part of it, and he's not, I guess, maybe the bruiser inside that he once was, but I wouldn't attribute their offensive, I guess, like lack of. I don't know how they would follow up what they did last season, but I would attribute that more to kind of the surrounding stuff. Because I mean, by all accounts, Sabonis had a pretty good year, and De'Aaron Fox had a fucking fantastic year, best season of his career. Um, it just seemed like it should have went further, and I think they've been really hindered by the regression that they've had from some of their role players. Thank God Malik Monk was the sixth man of the year and was as fantastic as he was, because I really don't know what they would be doing
isn't he
without
out?
him.
Is he not playing this game?
Yeah, Monk's out.
Um,
MCS
yeah,
Yeah, he's not
I
playing.
think-
So all right, 70-30.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah, I don't feel great about it. I'm gonna be honest. Are we looking to Chris Duarte and
No, we're
Davion
not.
Mitchell?
Before you finish the sentence, we're not.
I don't
We're
think
just
Chris
not.
Duarte is even
Really?
gonna play.
Are we looking to Davion Mitchell to fulfill some of this need here?
I mean, yeah, they have been. I think, I don't know. For me, this one really comes down to like Fox and Steph. Like, honestly, I really don't think Sabonis's play matters that much for the Kings' offense, really. And that kind of showed it last year, like in this very matchup. Like, he played like shit, and they,
Yeah.
their offense was mostly fine. They just got lit up. I think that's really what it comes down to. I don't really think either of these teams are well constructed to defend the other, especially like Fox and Curry. So I really think it comes down to like which one of them like has a better game. Like, I think this is really a coin flip kind of matchup. I would probably give the edge to the Warriors slightly, maybe 55-45, if only because Monk is like the Kings' like third best offensive player, second or third best offensive player, and he's out.
Second. Whoa, big day.
I mean, I would argue. I might be certain actually. I
might
think
be certain of what?
I think he might have had the best chemistry in the pick and roll with Sabonis. The Fox Sabonis pick and roll might have yielded better results, but I think as far as like the crafty pocket passes and the wraparounds in the restricted area, and the lob passes over the heads and like shit like that, I think he might have had the best chemistry handling the ball with Sabonis of everyone on the team.
Regardless,
And
that's a lot of
that scares me.
playmaking that they just are not going to have for this game and
Yeah.
like any potential playoff series. So yeah, I don't know. This game's really in the hands of Fox and Steph, and just see what they get up to, I guess.
Yep.
Like, I don't really consider Sabonis's play to be that integral to what happens, or like anyone else in the Warriors really.
Yeah, and I mean, let's just be blunt. Last year he kind of got hoed on the glass too. Like, that's always been a pretty dominant part of his game, and it's like he was getting out muscled for offensive rebounds and shit like that by like Kevon Looney, and I mean, he's kind of shored up that quite a bit this year.
I don't think they're gonna have to worry about that.
But-
Kevon Looney, I don't expect to be like a huge player in this series. I think.
Well, I don't mean
When
Kevon
the-
Looney in particular. I just mean like generally speaking.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Warriors are going to be rolling with Trace, so I think.
Yeah.
I mean, like Looney had like a cool series versus the Kings, but I think versus the Lakers he was like pretty useless. And I think Trace has a much more diversified skill set that I think he's going to have a lot more general impact. I think I just like him better as a player too.
I love Trace Jackson Davis.
That's bro. Yeah.
Is that all for that?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, shorter episode today because there's
Well, are we
He's
gonna look
for-
at?
Oh,
there's
the-
more matchups.
oh shit, yeah, that's
Like,
true.
it's like the whole second part of that.
So hypothetically speaking, okay,
So Sixers go to 7. So it's Heat, Bulls. I think we came to the consensus.
Heat Bulls, yeah.
Right, I think we favor the Bulls generally.
I don't really need to think about that much. That's probably just the Heat pretty handily, I would think.
But think about how funny it would be.
It would be really funny. Also,
It would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know, really funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see a way that the 7-8 are not just Philly and Heat in some direction.
We said the Heat are outclassed by Philly. How fucking outclassed are the Bulls
Yeah.
Oh my
honestly,
God.
it's
by the Heat?
pretty tough scene.
Like that would be a nasty game. That one I actually might not tune into. That would be just gross.
Yeah. Let's go Heat there, and then what was it? Pelicans, Lakers. The general consensus was that the Lakers win. So then we have Pelicans versus what would it be? Warriors, I guess. I think we're all Warriors
the Pelicans
here.
would just beat whoever
give me
came out of that. To be honest,
I think if it's Pelicans Warriors specifically, I think the Pelicans are more likely to win by double digits than they are to lose. Like,
yeah, I can probably get behind that.
I think there's a very severe talent gap there, and I don't love the matchup for.
It's
Golden
a pretty
State.
bad stylistic gap, I would say, or like a stylistic difference.
Yeah, I think the Kings might have a better chance at beating the Pelicans, but I wouldn't take them either. I think the Pelicans are clearly the best team in the West play-in, even if I don't think they're going to beat the Lakers.
Yeah,
Like
I would
man,
pick them. I would pick them over like Kings Warriors more so than I would Lakers over Kings Warriors.
yeah, for sure.
This shit was almost Phoenix. How crazy is that?
Yeah,
That'd been funny.
This really could have been the Suns down here.
Our A+ off season. Where has it gone? Hey, this is your A+ off season currently fighting for the 7th seed, by the way.
They fucking trolled me.
I think you may have trolled yourself believing in the quote unquote Los Angeles Lakers.
I'll hold the L for that one. Like literally, that's not my brightest moment. I think I predicted a lot of other good stuff though. I predicted Indy.
Yeah, you did. I think we all were in on Indy. I said the Magic were going to make the playoffs. I think so. I feel good about that.
Yeah, you could put that. I think we had
that, and I said, and I was the only one here. Okay, so first of all, I did say, so in the episode that I don't think ever went up, I think I said that I thought the Warriors were going to miss the play-in, and they didn't. But in my defense, if the Grizzlies didn't explode, they actually would have, like straight up.
Yeah,
which I think is kind of funny.
I mean,
they were pretty fucking close.
I mean, a lot of
with
things
the Rockets.
change if the Grizzlies like are not exploded. Like, there's a compounding effect to that.
That's true. What else? What else did we all miss? I mean, Connor was right about the Sixers, but for a reason you probably don't love, which is that a guy was playing like the best player in the world and then missed 3 months.
Yeah.
So I guess you were right.
I missed pretty hard on the Thunder. I'll say that.
I didn't. Oh, I did not. I was the only one of you who of us who said that the Thunder were like we're gonna like outright make the playoffs, not like through the play-in, but just like I think I said they were gonna, like,
I had them at 6.
I had them at 8, I think.
No, you, Connor. I remember you had them at. I'm pretty sure you had them at 7. He had them at 8. I had them at 5, which even then is like too low. But like that. Who of us was the Wolves believer? It wasn't me, but it was one of you guys.
Hell no.
Okay, did we all hate the Wolves? Okay, my
It was
bad.
definitely not really.
Low key, I had them in the play-in.
I think we might have all had them in the plan. That's tough.
Yeah, I think.
I did have the Thunder in the play-in. Wow, I'm a fraud.
Oh no,
I just want to see how much.
I had the Wolves at 11 under the. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
This was gonna be a shorter episode anyway. Do we just want to very quickly, like in an unorganized fashion, just like comb this and see how right we were or wrong?
I mean, I nailed the East playoffs pretty much. Except no, I had the. I mean, if you swap the Bulls for the Magic, I guess I nailed the East.
I got the top 4 right, but in the wrong order. I had Bucks, Cavs, Celtics, Knicks because I thought Porzingis would miss most of the season, but they were actually just like the fucking dream team.
I remember we had one of the big arguments was that me and Bashiri told you that you were bugging for not having the Celtics at number 1, and you said Bucks Nation, and
I mean, we looked like we were. I mean, honestly, can you really blame me coming into the season not thinking that was going to be a regular season team? I didn't think this. I mean, I knew the Celtics were going to be great, but we were coming into the season.
No one thought it would be this way. Yeah,
we were coming into the season. They were already talking about Porzingis has plantar fasciitis from the moment he stepped into the gym, and I was like, all right, well, we'll get another 55 game season, and he'll be good for the playoffs. But
I thought the
Yeah.
Cavs are going to be better, and I guess they kind of were
I
better.
think the
Like
Cavs
they
were
they
better, but they just got
injuries,
fucked up.
weird stuff.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to be a great
I
regular
think the
season
Cavs would
team.
have probably finished second if they did. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think we could have finished second regardless.
I think we would have finished second
Yeah.
if Julius Randle was alive and Mitchell
Dude,
Robinson.
I fucking trolled with this Hawks pick. Oh my god.
Where'd you put them?
I had them at 5.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was
I was
a
a
tough
firm
scene.
believer in the Quinn Snyder effect, and he sold me.
He sold
Well,
you even
know.
with one of their random scrubs suddenly becoming like a top 100 player in the NBA. Like
I
it wasn't
mentioned
enough.
I mentioned him in there too. I said that Jalen Johnson was like, if this team is going to be really good this season, Jalen Johnson's going to be a big part of it.
And he was a big part of it, and they still sucked. Oh wow.
They were buns.
Let's see.
If you just swap them and the Pacers, I had them in opposite spots. I said the Pacers would be in the plan. Also, I may or may not have had the Magic at 11 and the Nets at 10.
I think even at the time,
had the Nets
I
at
definitely.
I said it would be narrow. I said in here, if they teeter around 39 wins, this will be a really good year for them. And they finished with, I mean, more than that, obviously, but like, I don't know. If they were at 39 wins, they would be the 9th seed right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
No,
I don't
I'm
know.
pretty-
This just was
I'm
not
pretty sure
a
the
top
Nets pretty
3
bad.
defense to me looking at them, and they just were. So
shout out to
Honestly, I
Jamal
didn't
Murray.
expect that either. I expected it to be a more balanced approach. Like they were just like average.
that's the thing. I knew their offense would be bad, so I was just like, okay, they're just gonna like suck again. But no, their offense was bad and their defense was incredible. So they're good.
Part 3 of me looking at this doc and reading that I just wrote LOL for the Wizards.
Oh man, so real.
Dude,
So real.
I'm so sad. Oh my god, bro. The Pistons trolled me too. I had
Hold on, question. Where did you guys have the Rockets?
I had them like bottom 3.
I think I had them at like 10. I had them
You
at
had them
12.
at 10?
I had them
Okay,
at 12.
12's pretty good. I think
I had them 13.
I had them pretty low. I think I might have had them lower than you guys.
I mean, I kind of just figured they'd be like play in or like play in adjacent, like just out of it.
Yeah, hey, not bad. What else? Right versus wrong.
Yeah,
about?
just I saw this team. I did not see a good defense, and no,
Yo.
it was good.
I'm not gonna lie. I might have been smoking dick with these awards to the point where I'm not gonna read this again.
The awards.
let me see what I wrote because
Yeah, I don't think they could. They couldn't have been that bad.
I mean, the Tyrese Maxey one was pretty obvious. Bobby Portis is definitely in the conversation. Rookie of the Year, Vic, was pretty obvious. I said Jaden McDaniels, Defensive Player of the Year. I had the wrong Timberwolf. I'm not going to read my MVP and Coach of the Year. If you want to know it, you can go back
Oh god.
and watch the episode.
honestly I think I'm only going to get one of these right, but I think the amount of Thunder dick riding I did is actually it's making me look really good because I think I gave Coach of the Year to Mark Dagnall, who congratulations won it today.
That was the coach's vote. That's not the real award.
But he's gonna win it. You know he's gonna win it.
Well, mostly, I think either of them are equally deserving.
Probably, but he's gonna win it. It's I gave Chet Rookie of the Year, which at the time he was. I think it didn't. It is not Chet, but he's.
It was
Hey,
very
shout
close early on.
And I
Yeah,
gave.
it was close until
I
it
think.
wasn't.
I think I said. I think I said SGA MVP as well, which he's not gonna win it, but again, closer than many would have thought. So I guess I feel good about it.
Yeah, I'll finish with 2 of these right, which is okay. Like Jokic and Wemby, like it's not that groundbreaking.
I whiffed on Depoy, but I think that had he been healthy all year, it actually could have been the Evan Mobley year.
Yeah,
like
I
if he
picked
doesn't
Mobley
miss.
too. And
Yeah,
I think on a
if he
real
doesn't-
basis, he was Depoy caliber.
Yeah. Most improved. Who did I come up with? I came up with someone weird for that. I definitely didn't get it right.
I don't remember who I said, honestly. Probably picked something random.
I think we all forgot MIP and wrote it in like 15
Yeah, I think
minutes before the
we
episode.
did it after the fact.
Yeah. Damn. Shit. Well. So wait, who? I feel like all the awards are like pretty much locked up now, right? Like, hold on, let me go on the odds. I know Jokic is just like Jokic just ran away with the odds for MVP, right?
Yeah, it should be Jokic, Gobert for Depoy, Wemby Rookie of the Year. Sixth man, I think most places favor Monk.
Let me check. I'm on
I'd-
Vegas
I
Insider.
would
Yeah,
probably
it's
give it to
it's
Malik.
it's between Monk and Naz Reid.
Respect Bobby Portis. Fuck.
Okay. I'm looking at the website, Connor. This is not my
You're looking
opinion.
at odds. Oh.
I just told you on Vegas Insider. I'm not hating on Bobby Portis. I'm reading numbers.
I was like, damn, bro. 16 rebounds, 8 assists, 50, 40, like 85 since All-Star break. Give him some respect.
16 rebounds, 8 assists. Oh man.
What?
That's what you said.
Yeah? Oh my god, yo, I'm on crack. My fault. 16 points, 8 rebounds. Holy shit.
No, like Bob Portis is good, but yeah, the odds basically have it as a 2-man race. Coach of the year, it's gonna be Dagnall. What are the awards? Did you?
I said Darvin Ham.
Oh god.
man.
I thought they were gonna cook. Like whether or not it was actually because of him, I thought they were gonna cook and he was gonna get the Lakers clout.
Yeah. I think I'm not gonna pat myself too hard, but I think I probably did the best of all. I don't think any of us did well, but I think I did the least worst on all the predictions.
I'm not. You tell me what's worse, my coach of the year or my MVP?
Who's your MVP?
So like I said, I had Darvin Ham for coach of the year again. I also wrote in this write up that Anthony Davis missing time might help his case because I thought they were still going to be a very competent team and one of the top seeds.
You got it so wrong because he didn't even miss time for the first time in like 6 years. He was fully healthy. That's tough.
And bro, you're welcome. Anytime.
Oh man. Oh,
I was technically correct in what I said about my MVP. Like what I said was going to happen happened. It just wasn't enough.
who would you say?
Listen, we all had an A plus.
How bad
for
could
this.
it have been?
We all had an A plus for the Phoenix Suns in the offseason.
You say KD?
I said Devin Booker.
Ah.
I thought we were looking down the dude. Okay, but you have to look in hindsight. Okay, the players that they signed in the offseason, we went over it at the time. You can watch the video. The players that they signed in the offseason, we said, actually, these are all perfect players for what they needed. Like,
No, I was in too. I was there.
Literally,
we were
like
all in on the Suns.
we literally were like, this is a perfect roster as constructed. And then all their role players forgot how to shoot the ball. But the point
Except
being,
Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen didn't let us down.
yeah, he just
So
had a fucking
true.
historic year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Connor's fantasy team. Fucking
Yeah,
Christ.
he's just joining the ranks of former Bucks players, former white Bucks players who just go on to have historic shooting seasons after they leave. Shout out to Dante DiVincenzo attempting 12 threes a game in New York.
Yeah.
No, so at the time I was like, okay, this team's probably gonna win 60 games. Like it wouldn't surprise me. Like this team's gonna be fucking crazy good.
They weren't.
They weren't.
Not at all. Kata Bates Diop forgot how to shoot. Josh
He
Okogie
sucks.
somehow
What
got
happened?
worse at shooting.
Dude,
Yuta Watanabe forgot how to shoot.
Kata Bates Diop used to be like my niche. Like if you know this guy's good, you know ball. That used to be my big flex. Was like I know how good Kata Bates Diop is at screen navigation.
No, you don't. We apparently never did.
Didn't know. God,
I mean,
No, my new guys. I'm just becoming like I'm becoming like the voice for all Thunder fans on this pod. My new guy is Kenrich Williams. That's my if you know guy.
Shout out to Kenny Hustle. Oh, dude, man, we gotta start making those shorts again, man. The streets deserve a Kenny Hustle YouTube short.
So true. Yeah. What else? You know, I was super in on the Suns. I just thought it was going to be Jokic anyway because he's Jokic, and also because I think we even talked about this in the preview. I thought they were going to feel, which is exactly what's happening right now, almost to like a disgusting degree. I thought they were going to feel bad for him and just be like, "All right, man, here you go. How bad?" You know, like
honestly, that was part of what I wrote about in here. I said literally like, I said Jokic should have a fair chance to grab number 3, but realistically, this is a narrative award, and the media will probably withhold that from him. I'm happy to be proven wrong.
No, they did the opposite. They They did not withhold it from there's like a decent argument that he shouldn't win it, and he's gonna fucking clean the voting because
It was actually too close, and he might just win it by default. Because they
honestly,
don't know who else to pick.
like he still
disrespect.
wouldn't be my vote. Like,
what's up?
I said, like for me, like he still wouldn't be my vote.
Who's your MVP?
Have you guys seen the tracker?
I don't want to look at that fucking thing ever again.
He's 12 of 14 right now. First place votes. It's over.
That's amazing.
Who's your?
Like,
wait,
I
so
just
who's your
feel like
MVP
that's
after?
I don't know. For me, it's
Arbitrary.
SGA. Like for me, he's
Okay.
MVP.
I think I'm leaning
mean, like,
Luka
I don't
these
know.
days. Is that crazy?
What's
to
up?
say?
The people of the
So-
pod know where I keep the jersey.
I
They know.
really don't think that. Like, I mean, like people, I don't know, discourse about it has been really annoying, but like, I really don't think Lucas would be like really that undeserving. But I mean,
No, I don't think so.
I
either.
wouldn't pick him over Jokic or SGA or.
I've just completely resigned the idea of Giannis winning another one in his career, especially with how the team has played as of late. That's just like never ever gonna happen.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, especially with how this season went, like that was cooked.
I mean, at this point, we have Doris Burke on national television saying that Jalen Brunson is on first team over Giannis. So
She's right about Brunson being on first team. She's wrong about who it's over.
It's for who I cannot say. I fear
There's a lot to consider right now.
there's a 6'8" green elephant in the room right now, but I fear the voters don't have the balls.
Speaking of, shout out to Tim Bontemps of ESPN in the putback, who has in fact his vote is tallied, and he did put Jalen Brunson over Jason Tatum.
Well, that's a real bad right there.
That's our guy.
That is one win for ethical basketball. Right there.
JJ Redick, I expected better. Bill Simmons, I did not.
It's funny because JJ put Brunson over Tatum for MVP, but not for All NBA.
He put Brunson over Giannis on first team, and still
crazy.
had Tatum on first team. I was like, bro,
Who JJ did?
yeah.
Oh,
No, he didn't. He has Giannis on his first team. I'm looking at it right now.
I literally saw a clip today where he
I'm
said
looking at his submitted award ballot.
that. Oh no, I think he said he had it wasn't all NBA teams. I think he said he had Brunson and Tatum ahead of Giannis
Oh, for MVP.
in MVP. He said Giannis was sixth. He said it was Jokic, SGA, Luka, or Jokic, Luka, SGA, Tatum, Brunson, Giannis. And I
It should
just
have
like
been Embiid.
I just felt my lunch like leave my body.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's a whole nother thing.
Well,
Are we about wrapped?
yeah, we got through what we wanted to discuss and then some.
Yippee.
You know, some people don't think the regular season matters. I would argue it matters a lot. And it's fun. Why complain that you get to watch more basketball?
It's true. Well,
Have
they don't
positive-
watch. Most people that say that don't watch.
Have positive basketball discourse. And for those of you that don't, we're at the plan now. So you can finally shut the fuck up.
No, the only people I speak to who say the regular season doesn't matter root for a team with a certain coffee man on it. Other than that, I think we've agreed that the 82 games that you play are actually really important and matter a lot and are also really cool. Thank you all for sticking with us for 82 games, even if the schedule was a little weird through thick and thin. We made it. God bless. And
Hey man, far as I'm concerned, we got in where we fit in, and it was a cool ride, and
We got it done.
playoff coverage coming soon. So thank
true.
you guys very much for watching. First season in the books, first regular season in the books. This was awesome, and I just want you guys to know that every single time someone likes a video, every single time someone comments or swipes up on my Snapchat to tell me that they like what we're doing and we're doing a good job, I share it in here, and we're all so fucking pumped every time you guys do that.
For sure.
And we just appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts, because this is a hobby, and we'd be happy if one other person outside of us watched it, but there's more than one of you, so that's good.
there's at least 3.
But
Yeah.
dude, we had a reply guy one time. That was
What?
so sick. I think were you not in here when that happened?
What are you talking about?
Dude, most of the people who watch this, like, granted we're small right now. Most of the people who watch this, most of you guys probably know us like personally, or like at least like follow us on social media or something like that.
Yeah.
And so most of the comments and the likes and stuff like that are just like from people we know, like trying to gas us up. Dude, we had a guy reply on one of our videos, like probably like our third or fourth episode, and said first comment. And
You're really stupid. That's me. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
That's my account.
Are you
I
fucking
do it
serious?
too when you said.
Are you fucking serious?
Do you want me to share my screen?
Oh
I can.
my god.
No! It's gonna mess up the overlay. I actually don't. No, wait, what? Huh? Wait, really? That was you?
Yo.
Oh my fucking god, yo!
What
I'm
is
so
this
sorry,
outro,
Connor.
bro?
How many people I've flexed that to as a milestone? I was like, dude, we have a reply guy. That's so sick.
That's.
I was like, there's some guy who found our shit who doesn't know who any of us are. I wanted us to know that he was the first person to comment. Oh my fucking god!
Oh my goodness. This is. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. We're waffling. This is really funny.
Cut the feed.
No, don't cut the feed. This is hysterical. I need to go.
No.
What episode is this? What it's
No, motherfucker, the last one, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh no, not this one, bro. No, what are you talking about? I'm talking like what episode was it?
I don't know. Maybe it came to me in a dream. I don't know. Nothing's real, I guess.
Oh
Fuck.
my god,
damn
look
it.
at this.
God
Look at
damn
this.
it.
Hold on, I need to share my screen. It's gonna fuck up the overlay. Is that okay? I just for a second.
What is this?
Could I do this?
I don't think we're gonna be able to capture it.
Yeah, it probably won't.
Oh my god, it's okay if we fuck it up for like 10 seconds, right?
I don't know. I'm saying I don't know if they're gonna physically be able to see it. Like there might be be like bars covering it and shit. Like they might not even.
All right, what if I turn off my camera? Look, see, that's me.
Okay.
It's
Oh
just
my
me,
fucking
God.
god!
That's just my account.
Can I even hold on? Oh, I can't zoom in, but
You can right click on him and disable his camera.
Oh. That's so funny. No, yeah, that's me, bro. That's just me.
Whatever, man. Go fucking watch your trippy red visualizers. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, I don't know why
We'll
I don't watch that shit anymore. That's been like
in a
5
couple weeks. I don't know. Maybe not. Holy
man.
shit! What was wrong with my hair? Cut it.
Oh my god. Yeah, cut the feed.
Peace
Cut the
out.
feed. All right. Thank you so much for attending the latest episode of Triple Single. Next podcast coming out on like Friday, I think, as a playoff preview. If Connor's still alive, we'll do it. If not, I don't know. We'll still probably do it.
This shit might turn from a 3-man weave to a DHO real quick.
Oh
That's
my
all I'm
god.
saying.
That's so
With all
tough.
due
I'm
respect.
sorry, bro. That's hilarious. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
peace out, guys.